A hit has gone tits up, and an assassin is on a revenge mission not only to clear his name, but to bring justice to a group of pretentious dickheads. It's James Bond cosplaying as Agent 47 in Magneto skin in this slow thriller in The Killer. Hello there, you loose units, and welcome back to another episode of Spicy Boy Reviews. I'm, of course, your host, Andrew Iles. That's right, The Killer, directed by David Fincher. Yes, that David Fincher. We meet our protagonist, The Killer, played by Michael Fassbender, who is a cold, methodical assassin. No, not that one. And he is hired for a hit, and he's playing the long game, staking out a suave penthouse in France. He's waiting for his target to show up, so he passes the time by listening to gothic 80s melodic music, going on long tangent philosophical monologues, and doing a spot of yoga. It seems he's namastaking out this penthouse. Finally, his target shows up after 6 days of waiting and monologuing. And his target's doing a bit of old 50 Shades of rich man middle-aged cliche here, hiring a dominatrix to whip it good. Michael Fassbender then takes the opportunity to assassinate his target, but he fucks it up, and instead accidentally shooting the sex worker. Now he's on the run, hauling ass back to his safe house in the Dominican Republic. However, it seems another duo of assassins have beat him to the punch and hospitalized his Spanish lover. And Fassbender's having none of it! Now he's on a journey for revenge, going on a John Wick-esque investigation, assassination adventure. We get all the espionage cliches here, khaki outfits, aviators with caps, along with a bunch of buried weaponry and passports. Our protagonist is only accredited as The Killer, and he's very thin on personality. He hardly ever speaks in this film unless it's a long-winded philosophical monologue. However, although the character is calculated, cold, and violent, he is the closest representation to Agent 47 from the Hitman game on film and the literary version of James Bond. And this character has an absolute stiffy for the Smiths. We get the expected globe-trotting adventure here, yet this is a very slow, methodical story of what it probably would be like for a high-end contracted hitman. Of course, David Fincher hires Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails fame here to score the Atmos sound for the film. However, it's about the hour-and-a-half mark of the film when we get a super tense, awesome fight scene. Like, it's great, it's nail-bitingly awesome. However, as aforementioned, the film is a bit of a slow burn. Not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination, but ye be warned. I feel like it's something you've kind of got to be in the mood for. However, this film is based on a graphic novel of the same name, released in 1998. And David Fincher apparently had been wanting to make this film adaptation for near on 20 years. David Fincher, first of all, envisioned Brad Pitt in the title role of The Killer. But Pitt turned the role down, saying that the character was too nihilistic. And I've got to say, he's kind of onto something there. I guess we are rooting for the protagonist of The Killer here because his lady has been hospitalised. You know, she was caught in the crossfire of his fuck-up. But it's still his fuck-up at the end of the day, and she's an innocent victim in all this. And he lives his life with the mantra, I don't give a fuck. Clearly you've got some fucks to give, Mr. Killer Man. This film furthers the argument that Michael Fassbender would have made a magnificent James Bond, especially if it was set as a period piece in the 50s Cold War era. MGM, if you're gonna do it, grow some bloody balls and make a one-off 007 film based in that era and cast Michael Fassbender. I was actually invested in this film, although the protagonist is very cold here, and it took me about the 30-minute mark after all the monologuing, where I started getting really engaged. It's actually probably an honest representation of what a high-end hitman's lifestyle would be like. You know, cold, calculated, devoid of all emotion, except for anger. I mean, they fucking kill people for a living. At first, I thought it was a little bit pretentious, but then again, I got on board with the revenge plot. And revenge is always a great motivator for an audience. I mean, look what we've had in the past. John Wick had his dog murdered. Hutch Mansell wanted to protect his family. Robert McCall wants to protect the innocent and oppressed. And Artami just wants his bloody gold, along with killing actual fucking Yahtzees. And here it is, yet a revenge plot going after the assassins who roughed up this protagonist's lover. However, we only meet her once, and that's in hospital here. We don't get any sort of background information on their relationship, really. And like I said before, the protagonist is very thin on personality. So there's motivation there to root for him. I suppose because it's Fassbender, he's charismatic. But anyway, it's not a bad watch. It was quite entertaining, just a very slow burn. Like I said before, something you've kind of probably got to be in the mood for. Anyway guys, that's my little cheeky review of The Killer. I had no idea this film existed or that David Fincher was behind it. It just popped up on a suggested film I might like on my Netflix account. Write down below if you've seen it, if you're excited about it, what are your thoughts on it, but more importantly, what is your favourite revenge sort of spy espionage film? And of course, if you made it this far into the episode, please give me a thumbs up because your love and support keeps me going because I just love movies, and I assume you do as well. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe icon because I give out an episode weekly, and I'll see you back here next week for the next review, and until then, stay spooky, kids.